Hi, hello, welcome to Dusty Shop, where bad decisions are rabid and planning is lacking. So, don't do what we do. Well, you could try it. Have fun with it. You know, do the YouTube stuff. Click like and subscribe. Alright, thanks. Alright, Circus Goers, so here today, George, myself, and Harley are going to fill in all the holes on the old Camaro. So we're going over here. All the good stuff there. We got a bunch of holes. Filled all that in, played it. You know, that kind of good stuff. So one thing we did do is, yeah, George is showing right there, is there are extra serial numbers there in the firewall. So there we found two sets right there. So we're gonna leave one set and we're cutting the other set out because there is like Swiss cheese made out of that firewall. So versus sitting there trying to weld a whole bunch of little plugs and all that, we're gonna put patch panels in there. So we'll get after that and get that done. So yep, hopefully that'll clean everything up. So, here we go. Alright, so right here we got is George has got a piece of scrap and he is setting up the old machine. Because I think the last thing we were welding was heavier metal, and so versus, you know, trying to turn the heat down on that there little thin ass sheet metal, we got some scrap right there, and he is making a couple test passes to make sure the machine runs good and we're gonna blow no holes in it. Any more holes? That's what we're fixing. Alright, circus goers, so yes, there it is. Our beloved and most famous cardboard templates. Yep. On this channel, we make a lot of those things. Cuts down on the oops. We still have oopses, but hopefully this kind of cuts it down some. So, yeah, as we're sitting here watching, George has got that patch panel for that there little round hole. And he is gonna get busy getting that thing all welded up and looking pretty. So while I'm back there playing with templates for the next spot, here we go. Alright, so here we go. Me and Harley are trying to get the last bit of the kind of the general shape of the cardboard template. As I'm explaining to the, yeah, there he is. He's actually smart enough not to look at the weld. How about that? Hanging around in a shop that does a lot of welding and you might pick up something. There I am, drawing it out some more, trying to get it done. And as we can see here, George is doing what George does. Weld. There's lots of welding. We'll let him get back to doing lots of welding. Alright, circus goers, so here we go. As you can see, I have the final template, and we are drawing it on the holy firewall right there. Harley's watching on as me and George I'm tracing it out. George is helping hold it in place as we draw out the pattern. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna give Harley the pattern, and he's gonna go to the cut table and dig out the old plasma cutter and make us a piece of sheet metal. So that way George can do what George does. Yeah. So, yeah. So right now, as I'm finishing drawing this out. I'll get it ready to go, and I'll cut out the firewall with the plasma cutter. So, here we go.
you serious?
Alright, so as we got George here, he is cleaning up and up that cut edge right there with all the slag and, well, ain't really much slag, just kind of smoothing it all out. I may not have cut so straight on that one, so need a little bit of touch-up work. Get her a little straighter. There's a couple spots there smoothed out. Wasn't real easy to cut. And then what we got here is me and Harley are going over why we made the template. A little bit of overhang. He's trying to learn how to do this stuff today. So here's me and George. We've got the sheet metal cut out, and we are, there it is in my hands. And so we're going to start trying to do the final fit. Like we told Harley, we cut a little oversized so that we could trim her down, get her to fit like a glove. So yeah, so we're in there right now seeing where we need to trim it off, and Harley is going to show up here in a second, and he's going to check it out too. He's showing a little bit of interest in wanting to do welding, some sheet metal work. So there he is. So, and then you see there, George is, you know, we're doing a little finessing the metal, get her to sit right where we want it. So, yeah, as we're doing that, getting her fitted, you know how this stuff works out. It comes in and out about 50 million times as we try to trim it out. We're showing him right here, you know, we got some gaps here and there, and how to get rid of them. So, and so, yeah, we're showing a little incentive to want to learn. So we'll show them what little bit we got to give. So as George explains to him kind of why we're doing what we're doing and all that good stuff. So, and yeah, so here we go. Alright, circus goers, so after, you know, watching all that fun stuff of us, you know, the usual in, out, blah, 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 blah. We finally got the template shaped, so here's George doing, you know, doing a little tacking, you know, with all the safety involved. And, so yeah, there we go. Put a couple tacks in it here and there. And then, yeah, George is back to doing what, we all know what George does. Weld, weld, weld. That's all this is. Lots and lots of welding. So, here we go. Alright, circus goers. So here, as you can see, George is, you know, doing a little more welding. So, a little flexing, bending. The little ears sticking on the sheet metal, you know, for those who don't know, that's so that we can hold on to it and try to pull it up tight. Do whatever. I'm taking some measurements for that particular plate. We're just going to put one plate across there, block it off. And, yeah. And, continue on, plugging up all of the holes. So you see here, George is getting after it, and yeah, that's all there is to it. Alright, George is finishing up welding right here. See, he's checking out all the welds, making sure it looks good. No, look at that. Missed a spot. Oh, did he? He just didn't like the way that looked. So, he's doing all that. Looks like that panel is in good shape. All welded out. We'll go in there. As you can see, those are little ears we put on there so that way we could hold it in place, because it's a pretty good size sheet. He's breaking them off right now, and
so that way we can, yeah, we don't need them. So get them broke off, and then what we'll start doing now, we'll start cleaning up the welds. There we go. Broke that one off. So here we go. Here I am. Yeah. That's Harley in the background. He wants to learn how to grind and polish out welds so they disappear into the metal without like making the metal paper thin, which can happen. So I just kind of give him a little, here's how you do it type of situation, and here we go. I'm gonna turn them loose with the grinder, and yeah, I kind of was messing with him. I told him, you know, it's only a race car. Just keeps the fire out away from me from getting burned up, but this thing can catch his fire, you know, no big deal. So he's a little nervous. Yeah. I don't know how many times we told him to put gloves on. Maybe some glasses. Oh, he's got the glasses on. Okay. Yeah, he decided he's going to go fetch him some gloves. That grinder gets a little warm, especially when he's not used to working with stuff like that. Old Helen, his little hands ain't calloused up yet, ready to go. So, there we go. There's the gloves. Man, the boy will learn someday, or not. So, all right, now we'll sit here and watch little Harley. Yeah, give it all. Alright, Circus Ghost, as I am kind of checking out this this patch panel here, right here, George is giving Harley some tips on how to grind. And then here we go. We got George. We're on the driver's side, which is the factory hole for the wiring harness to come into the plug, to come out of the back of the fuse box, to come into the Camaro. So, like I said, we are not going to have any holes in the firewall at all. So, yeah. Kind of a little funny about that. We used to dirt track race. Had a little bit of a fire in one of the cars, and left it kind of holy, and decided that was one thing I would never do again. So, with that being said, George is cleaning up the little flange on that piece, and like I said, that's pretty much on this side's off. Just factory stuff. A couple factory holes we need to plug up. So we're gonna get after it, and as you can see, George has got some right there is the e-brake plug hole, so he's welding that up, made a little patch piece for that too, and we're gonna get all that square one up there for the washer, windshield washer, or no, windshield wiper motor to go through the firewall up there at the top. Like I said, he's plugging up that e-brake spot down there, and then there's a couple little like screw holes in there and all that. We'll get all those kind of plugged up, and then eventually what's gonna happen is yeah, it'll all be done. So here we go. Oh yeah, by the way, don't worry about George welding there by the old mattress cylinder. That mattress cylinder hasn't worked nor had anything in it in probably 10 years. So that bad boy is not only seized up harder, and it won't move an inch. There ain't nothing in it. So no brake fluid, nothing. So yeah, that's why George is like, he ain't too worried about it. We were just too lazy to that, and we didn't want to accidentally, plug that hole, because we're just just getting after it and made an oops. So as George keeps going on here and welding out all the little good stuff on this side of the car, and we'll continue to watch him as he makes it better. So as you can see here, Harley fits in quite well with us here in the shop, standing with our back to the camera most of the time, as he's over here trying to figure out again. He's loading up a different wheel on the grinder. I believe he's putting on I think he's putting on like a 100 grit lap disc on there, and we've been using kind of like, I think it was 80. Maybe it was bigger than that. I don't know. We put the wrong disc on there. Started kind of cleaning it up and figured out that, man, it was looking really shiny, but man, it really wasn't taking much material off. But kind of right now, we're just worried about kind of smoothing her out. So, and yeah, he still ain't figured out the thing with the grinder gets a little warm. So, and right now he's struggling with the little lock ring on there. The spanner wrench was just mysterious to him. Don't know why. We've used grinders a lot in the shop. This is the first time he's really used a grinder, but it is the first time he's ever probably really had this keep changing wheels and doing stuff. I guess I've been kind of bad about always putting wheels on and just handing him the grinder, and there he goes. The old lefty's getting after it. So he's got to clean up all of our little welds and spots and specks, and he ain't quite figured out how to go in there with that grinder and not get pelted with sparks, which he's always been kind of scared of them. So it is kind of funny to watch him as George is trying to give him some tips right here on him, so he's not eating everything he's grinding. But there we go. We're getting a little better there. Not much, but a little bit better. And he wants to keep his face like directly in the line of the sparks coming off that wheel so he can see. He's in there to just turn his head and kind of hope for the best type of situation. This is kind of comical. I'm in the back there doing some stuff to the back of the car from previous videos where we did the rear shelf and all that. Had a little bit of stuff I wanted to do back there because I'm going to finish rolling out the cage here pretty soon. So as I said, as we see this entertainment of him trying to figure out how to grind certain spots, because that where that spark plug hole goes in, it's kind of yeah, it's kind of all there. It's hard to get to. George is kind of giving some pointers and stuff what to do, and yeah, so there it is. I think he's done, or the grinder's done with him, one or the other, but it's kind of comical. So yep, there it is. Alright, circus goers, so here we go. We got ourselves one filled in firewall for the most part. Later on we're going to open up the tunnel. That's why there's nothing here. Still wide open. Still got a lot of finish work to do, but for roughing in, yeah, we're good to go. It's all plugged up. I just want to do the body work and make it look pretty. But for right now, keep you from getting burned up. Hopefully. Or slow it down. Got the big giant old gaping holes in it, so. Alright. Well, thanks for watching. And tune in for the next episode of Man, the Craziness. So, alright, thanks for watching.